What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? My bad. I gotta start this video over. Sorry, y'all. Come in. Come in. How y'all doing? I miss y'all for real. Thank y'all for giving us love. All that love, love, love we've been getting, y'all. Look, this how we about to start this off. I don't know if y'all heard about that project 2025, but let me hear and pour some tea on y'all head. Y'all don't vote for Donald Trump, y'all. They not playing, y'all. We is on high alert. He is trying to rewrite the Constitution, y'all. It is going on. Orange Man ain't playing. The clown is out here to clown and have fun and continue to tell his jokes while people are dying. People are becoming unalive because of Donald Trump. I want y'all to hear what Grandma gotta say first real quick. Bam. And then we gonna jump into this little video because T.S. Madison and them, they kind of explain the 2025 project better, and then we gonna go ahead and jump into that Robert De Niro. Oh man, they got Robert De Niro mad. I ain't never seen him that mad, y'all. I got some tea that I gotta pour on y'all head. Let me pour some tea on y'all head. Come in, come in, come on. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys for everything. For real, we really appreciate that, y'all. For real, continue to subscribe, man. Let me know if y'all want me to talk about something too, cause we don't talk about nothing but broad truth up in here, y'all. Man, y'all better excuse our mouth. Exit now. Exit now if you don't like what we gotta say. That part. Let's go ahead and hear what Grandma gotta say, because she got a clear point. Farrakhan. Then we're gonna jump into a couple of videos, and then we're gonna hit that Robert De Niro. Let's get it, y'all. Get y'all drinks, y'all smokes, whatever. Enjoy yourself. Let's get it.
They got a lot of black people that is for Trump, but see, Trump, look, this man gonna put all our ass back in slavery, but he gonna put me back in slavery because I'm getting out the hell out of the United States. If he wins,
Grandma, where you going? Where you going?
hey, we got islands and stuff you can go on. You ain't got to go back to Africa now. Shit, you can. But I'll tell you this much: if the black people was to go back to Africa, they could build Africa. They build Africa. We got technology. We got all kind of educated people, honey.
They built the United States, and they still ain't gave us our credit.
I'm talking about the educated people. We got that's engineers, that are teachers, that can, builders.
But how many of them willing to leave with Miss Loretta and go build something new? After we didn't put our blood, sweat, and tears in the United States.
It ain't, look, let me tell you something. You go somewhere and build it up, we build ourselves up, and come back to the United States and kick everybody's ass out of the United States. That's what
they giving...
Begging white people to do for us what we have the power to do for ourselves.
They putting that black lady...
Give us no reparation because they scared we're going to come back and kick their ass out of what they are. They kick somebody else, they kick the Indians out. We gonna kick their ass out, because we the one to pull all them stumps up for them to make a roadway.
Well, what about that?
Which includes getting rid of gay marriage. Project 2025 plans to ban all gender-affirming healthcare. Please don't let a bunch of rich white
Yeah. Transition project. I didn't know what the fuck it was. I had no idea what Project 2025 was. But then I watched the video. There's a lady. Can you play that video from that lady, please?
Okay, here we go.
If you haven't heard of Project 2025, it is a project written by a large group of Republicans that is to be handed to the next Republican candidate so that he can implement it into his presidency. Basically...
Did I send that to you in a text?
Yeah, that was a text. Yeah, the audio of the song about
here
that
it is,
guy
right?
through the mic.
Let me play it.
If you haven't heard of Project 2025, it is a project written by a large group of Republicans that is to be handed to the next Republican candidate so that he can implement it into his presidency. Basically, it is a plan for the next term if the next candidate is a Republican. If you haven't heard of Project 2025, it is very scary. I'm 19 years old, I'm biologically female, and I'm a member of the LGBT community. I can hide the fact that I'm gay, but I can't hide the fact that I was born a woman. And women are one of the targets of 2025. If 2025 is passed, Republicans are seeking to completely ban abortion altogether, no matter the circumstances. Project 2025 also seeks to rewrite the definition of marriage, which includes getting rid of gay marriage. Project 2025 plans to ban all gender-affirming healthcare. Please don't let a bunch of rich white men whose rights have never been questioned since the beginning of our country dictate our future.
Okay. So what's happening is,
Did you get a list of it too, Craig? You put a list of it there. Remember you showed?
oh yeah. Mo, you can put those things up there. Those screenshots of things that they're rolling back, basically. Bitch, they rolling back quicker than Walmart. Yeah. So for example, Project 2025 is a 920-page document.
Yeah.
It's 920 pages. And the way that it's set up is if the Republican Party wins, aka Donald Trump, they're going to pass this document, to him. And it's basically a guide for him to follow through, right? And a part of what's going to happen is, yes, they will pull things back that affect women. You already see what's happening with Roe versus Wade, but they'll try to mask it and try to make it seem like they're just affecting trans people in terms of gender affirming surgeries and things like that. It's not just that. I said this at the City Winery the other day. You see all of this peaceful protesting that these kids were trying to do on these college campuses with regards to what's happening in Palestine. They wouldn't even be able to do that if Project 2025 is in place in this next election.
See, and that's what I want you guys to understand. He's about to take away a lot of you guys' rights. A lot of you guys' rights. Let's go to the next video now. Pay attention to this, y'all. I don't know if y'all seen it already, but we about to watch it again. Let me pour some tea on y'all head. I gotta do the highlights. The reason why I'm doing the highlights because I need the main points to stick out so you guys can understand what Project 2025 is. And to not vote for Trump. I know we don't want to vote for Joe Biden. I get it. We ain't got no choice, though. Let me go ahead and roll the next video.
New this morning, federal prosecutors are asking for help as Donald Trump increases his attacks on the justice system. The special counsel's office now asking the judge in the classified documents case to block Trump from making statements that could endanger law enforcement investigating and prosecuting that case. The request comes after Trump falsely claimed the Biden administration, quote, authorized the FBI to use deadly force against him during the 2022 Mar-a-Lago raid. Of course, that is not true. The Justice Department followed standard FBI policy. Just one escalation this week of Trump's outrageous campaign rhetoric. In another example, a video posted on his social media feed echoed the language of Nazi Germany. The post was later deleted, and the cam blamed.
Y'all see this shit? Look at this shit. Look at this shit. This that neo-Nazi, that KKK shit. Remember, y'all, they traded their white sheets in for badges. They traded their white sheets in for badges. Don't forget that, y'all. Never forget that. Y'all gonna mess around and get tricked and get right back on the ship again. Y'all mess around and vote for Trump. All these dumb black people, they stupid. Don't even know. They just talking, following people. Like my grandma said, if I see anybody wearing them gold shoes, she said, get him and beat him up. She said, get him in the corner and whoop his ass. That's what Miss Loretta said.
Campaign blamed it, as they so often do, on an unnamed staffer. Joining us now, MSNBC political contributor and White House correspondent for Politico, Eugene Daniels, and Minnie Tamaraju, president of Reproductive Freedom for All. Friends, good morning.
Good morning. It's really concerning. Very, 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 very concerning. Was anybody else concerned this week?
All y'all just need this fascism every day. and the thing is, it is getting to the point where it just feels, oh, well, okay, no big deal. And I think that's, for me, a very concerning thing. When you take that attitude and you layer it into other things that we're going to be talking about over the next couple of hours, from abortion to elections to all these other things that impact people's lives every day. What is systematically happening is a numbing to it.
Sorry for stopping it, but I really got to get you guys to understand that women, we are the most attacked right now during this election. If you're a woman and you vote for Trump, you is crazy. Even that one lady that was running, I think her name was Haley or something. I can't remember her whole name. She was running for president. She switched up talking about she voted for Donald Trump. How that means you went against everything you said. You said you want to fight for women. You want to fight for abortion rights. And now you talking about you about to vote for somebody who want to take away that rights. The Wayne versus man, y'all, this is crazy, y'all. Pay attention, stay woke. This is what they mean when they say stay woke. Stay woke. Wake up, y'all sleep. Wake up.
And that numbing is a way of when the thing hits, everyone goes, well, why is everybody so upset? I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't know how you guys look at it. I mean, I know in the work you're doing right now, and certainly what you're doing, Eugene, in covering these stories, what are you picking up? What are you seeing and hearing out here from people when they see a presidential candidate out there saying and doing the things Trump is doing in this space, in this sort of fascist space?
That's just how Trump is often what you hear from even just regular voters, right? That's just Trump. That's how he talks. He's not serious. Those are the way, and some Democrats think that same way too. Like, we've heard this from him before. And so that numbing you're talking about hasn't just been going on right now. It's been going on since 2015 when he came down the escalator and changed the way that people perceive how politicians should be speaking, the kinds of things they should be saying, what's appropriate, what's not, moving the Overton window so far that when you talk to everyday voters, some lawmakers, they say, well, he's not going to actually do the things that he says he's going to do, right? Even though we have proof that in his 4 years, it's not like this is, 2015, right? A lot of voters said, I don't actually know what he's going to do, but now they do know what he's going to do. And there's been proof from, Project 25 and all of these other spaces that say, no, this is what Donald Trump wants to do. He wants
So is that what the race should be about? I mean,
that's what Biden's trying to make it about, right?
I think it has to be about both of the things, right? Like, it is about, Minnie, I feel like you're out there on the campaign trail just as much as the reporters covering the president and the candidates themselves, okay?
A little mini candidate.
A little mini candidate out here. Minnie's like, no, please. My staff is like, I have a job. Absolutely not. Folks out there, when you talk to people across the country, like literally, as I like to say, regular folks that are living their lives and they're going to participate in this election, you hear about the, Trump, but you also hear about what they're dealing with in their families, the grocery store, they're worried about their health care, their kids, housing, right? And so it's a both, and it's not an either or, I think.
And to your points, it is by design, this shock and awe. We're going to do so much crazy stuff that people will not be able to parse it out. Oh, that's just Donald Trump being crazy. The good news is, in all of this, is voters are paying attention to some of the core issues. And abortion is one of the most persuasive ones. So we have Trump on tape, in his own words, talking about bragging about overturning Roe, punishing women and providers. That's the most effective message, and it's why Biden's ads are hammering it over and over again, and why his surrogates are hammering it over and over again. But we also can say to voters very clearly, this is what a Trump administration did. So it helps address the believability gap about what Trump can do. And we have a chance to really explain what Democrats can and will do. So it's great that Senate Democrats are going to have votes on right to contraception and IVF. You're going to see a lot of the Biden administration folks out in the next month talking about abortion, birth control, reproductive freedom.
So the former president has given us the framing for the America he wants to create, an American Reich. What was stunning to me about that was how it landed.
With a thud?
Yeah. Okay, so it wasn't just me.
I don't think folks know what Reich is.
Yeah.
I think that.
Come on.
No, but
People
I just
cannot be. I'm not even going to buy this idea that at this point in our history, when you hear the word Reich, you have no idea what it refers to.
I want to interject and play some sound from the president and from the second gentleman, where they, I think, respond to this in part to address the need for a shakeup here. Take a listen.
You need to stay ahead in business. Use AI to generate whole new possibilities. With the most experience in the cloud, imagine how AWS can transform your business.
What's next for America?
Is this on his official account? Wow. A unified Reich? That's Hitler's language. That's not America's. He cares about holding on to power. I care about you.
If Jewish people are going to vote for Joe Biden, they have to have their head examined.
The last person I'm going to take advice from as a Jewish person is a known anti-Semite who's had dinner with anti-Semites, who said there was good people on both sides after Charlottesville. He's the last person I'm going to take advice from.
I think that speaks to your point, though, right? That there's the recognition of a necessity to take people by the shoulders and say, this is not normal.
Out of it. Yeah, it's not normal. And it's one of those things that I just find frustrating. The Trump campaign's excuse was this was not a campaign video. It was created by a random account online and reposted by a staff who clearly did not see the word while the president was in court. There is so many levels of BS in that statement. And they push it out there. And there is no countermeasure to it. I mean, outside of what we just saw from the president and the second gentleman, there is this sense I get in the communities out there that it just does a thud. It just doesn't land the way I think. When I heard it, I literally was stopped. I had to go back and I pulled it up and looked at it in the fine print of it just to make sure that it wasn't being misreported because it was so jarring. And yet,
But I think the point that you made, Simone, about not everybody understanding the reference is actually why it was so smart for the president to do that video and say, those are Hitler's words. We have to keep spelling out for voters. We assume voters are smart. It's not that they're not smart. It's that they're not paying close attention to every little gotcha moment, right? And Trump is counting on it.
Right.
He's counting on us not paying attention, right?
Yeah.
So the campaign's being really smart.
He's counting on us not paying attention, but he's also counting on the fact that he is selling his supporters an alternative narrative of what is happening. So you take, for example, his claim about use of deadly force at the Mar-a-Lago incident and
search and seizure,
and not acting as though that is standard protocol. Here is Merrick Garland responding to that claim.
That allegation is false, and it is extremely dangerous. The document that is being referred to in the allegation is the Justice Department standard policy limiting the use of force. As the FBI advises, it is part of the standard operations plan for searches, and in fact, it was even used in the consensual search of President Biden's home.
The concern, of course, is that the fact check never gets to the people who've already bought the lie.
It's too late, largely. Like, we've seen this over and over and over again, right? That Republicans find something, and then once it gets into the bloodstream of the conspiracy theorists, the great things about conspiracy theories is they don't have to be true, and any fact that you try to interject with, they say, well, you're part of the deep state, you're part of the problem, right? So it doesn't actually matter. Once it gets into the bloodstream, you watch how it happens. Marjorie Taylor Greene says that she wouldn't call Trump to make sure that he knew that he was that they were ready to kill him. He wasn't there, first of all. These are things that always happen. So a larger problem is that you have a lot of folks who are in government, and think about Marjorie Taylor Greene or Lauren Boeberts, who don't understand how government works and don't understand, like, standard operating procedure. You don't change that. It is.
Yeah, y'all can watch the rest of that on MSNBC. So look, we about to go to the next video. I want y'all to see this what y'all call y'all president. Look how he speak. I want y'all to hear what he about to say. He say this today after he came out of court, and now jury deliberations are in process. I want y'all to hear it after that happened. This is before the jury's instructions were given, but this is after closing arguments.
Anyone with $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans may qualify for help from National Debt Relief.
The jury now holds his fate in their hands. They are deliberating in this historic criminal hush money trial, and it looks like the former president is going to address the cameras. Let's listen.
Thank you very much. I would say, in listening to the charges from the judge, who's, as you know, very conflicted and corrupt, because of the confliction, very, very corrupt. Mother Teresa could not beat these charges. These charges are rigged. The whole thing is rigged. The whole country's a mess between the borders and fake elections, and you have a trial like this where the judge is so conflicted he can't breathe. He's got to...
Listen to how this man speaks. He said the judge is so inflicted he can't breathe. He's throwing insults at the judge. Bro, like, what's wrong with y'all? Really want this to be y'all president? Y'all want somebody that's gonna stand up there and throw insults at people and be mean to people every day and with an ankle monitor on, maybe in jail cell. What's wrong with y'all? Like, I don't understand America, bro. I'm listening to my grandma. I ain't getting tricked to get back on that damn shit. Y'all got me fucked up. I ain't getting tricked.
To do his job, and it's not for me, that I can tell you. It's a disgrace, and I mean that. Mother Teresa could not beat those charges, but we'll see. We'll see how we do. It's a very disgraceful situation. Every single legal scholar and expert said this is no case. It shouldn't be brought, and it certainly could have been brought 7 years ago, not in the middle of a presidential election. It was all done by Joe Biden. This judge contributed to Joe Biden, and far worse than that, but I'm not allowed to talk about it because I have a gag order. Far worse than that, by 1,000 times worse than that. The worst I've ever heard, but I can't talk about it. It'll be talked about, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. But it'll be talked about in the history books. What's happening here is weaponization at a level that nobody's seen before, ever. And it shouldn't be allowed to happen. So I'll stay around here. This is 5 weeks. And 5 weeks of really essentially not campaigning, although I took a big lead in the polls over the last few weeks. Something's going on. Because I think the people of this country see that this is a rigged deal. It's a weaponized deal for the Democrats to hit their political opponent. For Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of the United States. He's destroying our country. He's letting millions of people from jails, from prisons, from insane asylums, from mental institutions, drug dealers pour in. Venezuela, if you look at their crime statistics, they've gone down 72% in crime because they're releasing all their criminals into our country because of this horrible president that we have. And then they have a protest of Robert De Niro yesterday. He's a fool. He's a broken down fool standing out there, and he got maggot. He got maggot yesterday. He got a big dose of it. But I just want to say it's a very unfair trial. It should have never happened. If it was going to happen, it should have happened 7 years ago. As you know, Bragg didn't want to bring it. The Southern District didn't bring it. The FEC didn't bring it. This judge didn't even let us use the #1 election attorney. He's making the rules. He doesn't know anything about elections. He doesn't know anything about voting and vote counts. He doesn't know anything about this stuff. That's not his profession. We had the leading election expert in the country, Brad Smith, ready to testify. Wouldn't let him do it. They wouldn't let another gentleman who represented, and you know very well, you saw it. It was the worst I think I've ever seen anyone treated on a stand. Bob Costello, wouldn't let him talk about all of the hundreds of emails that he was sent by a gentleman, another gentleman, who I can't mention because I'm gagged. Every time I speak to you, you ask me simple questions. I'm not allowed to give you the answer because I'm gagged by this judge. But we have a very, very serious problem here. I mean, our country's going bad. And remember, and let me just leave you with this. This is all because of Joe Biden and I don't even think it's him. I don't think he's smart enough to think about it. But it's the people that surround him in the office. They're smart. They're fascists, they're communists, but they're smart. And they're ruining our country. But we're going to win this election. November 5th is going to be the most important day in the history of our country. We're going to take back our country from these fascists and these thugs that are destroying us with inflation and with everything they do, how stupid they are, allowing 15, 16, 17 million people into our country, totally unvetted, totally unchecked. We're going to bring back our nation November 5th. Remember, most important day in the history of our country. In the meantime, this trial is rigged. Thank you.
Now I want y'all to hear what Robert De Niro had to say. It's so crazy, y'all, because shame on these black rappers, all the black people, artists, black everybody who got a platform right now, and y'all not sit here saying the right thing. You know what I mean? They wrong, bro. I want you to hear at least one famous person is out here fighting for us. Let's hear what he had to say.
Downtown New York City. I grew up here and feel at home in these streets. I feel comfortable. The Twin Towers fell just over here, just over there. This part of the city was like a ghost town. But we vowed we would not allow terrorists to change our way of life. And we started the Tribeca Festival to bring people back. I love this city. I love this city. I don't want to destroy it. Donald Trump wants to destroy not only the city, but the country, and eventually he could destroy the world. But we vowed we would not allow terrorists. I owe this city a lot. And that's why it's so weird that Donald Trump is just across the street. Because he doesn't belong in my city.
Tell me about Kiri. That man took our daughter.
The foster parents are
I don't know where he belongs, but he surely doesn't belong here. We New Yorkers used to tolerate him when he was just another grubby real estate hustler masquerading as a big shot. A two-bit playboy lying his way into the tabloids, pretending to be a spokesperson for himself. He was calling it as himself for himself, to fool the press into inflating his net worth. A clown. But this city is pretty accommodating. We make room for clowns. We have them all over the city. People who do crazy things in the street, we tolerate it. It's part of the city, it's part of the culture. But not a person like Trump who will eventually run the country. That does not work, and we all know that. Anyway, we make room for clowns, to each his own. But no one takes him or took him really seriously. They take him seriously now, of course. But around the country, people who didn't know him as we did started to support him. They bought into his bullshit. Trump bought their votes with outrageous lies and empty promises. He got the most religious evangelicals to applaud a sinner who bragged about sexual assault, and who, just a couple of blocks from here, a jury found him liable for sexual abuse. Somehow he even got self-styled patriots to support a man who called for terminating the Constitution, and on January 6th rallied an angry mob to threaten democracy, leaving death and destruction in its wake. That's why I needed to be involved and wanted to be involved in the new Biden-Harris ad, because it shows the violence of Trump and reminds us that he'll use violence against anyone who stands in the way of his megalomania and greed. But it's a coward's violence. You think Trump ever threw a punch himself or took one? This guy who ran and hid in the White House bunker when there were protesters outside? No way. He doesn't get blood on his hands. No, he doesn't. He directs the mob to do his dirty work for him by making a suggestion. and inference. And his gang grovels and follows his obvious order. It's no surprise that the murder rate and other violence, they lied under oath. Right. Who lied under oath? What are you telling me?
Those two traitors behind you.
Excuse me?
Those two traitors behind you.
They lied under oath?
That's right.
What are you saying?
They're traitors.
They're traitors. You gotta, I don't know, I don't even know how to deal with you, my friend. I don't even know how to deal with you. They stood there, they didn't have to. And there were other ones in there who probably were in with them a little bit too, and they found a way to get around. Not these guys. They stood there and fought for us, for you. For you.
See, he getting into it right now with a Trump supporter. And he basically letting them know, them people right there behind him, them the ones that was hurt during January 6th. I want y'all to hear just a tad bit of their story, then we gonna watch what Biden had to say. And then, what other video? I have one more video I wanted to show y'all, alright? Hang in there, y'all, we almost done.
A DC police officer serving the citizens of the District of Columbia, primarily working in narcotics. On January 6, 2021, I heard distress calls coming from fellow police officers on the Capitol as thousands of Trump supporters rushed them and brutally assaulted members of law enforcement. That day, I, like many hundreds of other DC police officers, put on a uniform and responded to the Capitol to assist our brothers and sisters in law enforcement, defending the Capitol from a violent, armed mob of Trump's supporters. These supporters were fueled by Trump's lies and the lies of his surrogates, lies that the 2020 election was stolen. Those same lies have been spewed by Donald Trump and his surrogates about what happened to me and so many other police officers on January 6, 2021. That day, I was brutally assaulted. I was pulled from the police line by a man named Albuquerque Head, a Trump supporter who later pled guilty to his violent assault on me. While being restrained by the violent mob, I was beaten. An individual named Kyle Young tried to strip me of my firearm, while chants of kill him with his own gun were echoed by other members of the crowd. At that time, Thomas Civic, a man from Buffalo, New York, stripped me of my badge and my police radio, my lifeline to call for help from other officers. All the while, I continued to be beaten and then struck with a taser on my neck by Daniel Rodriguez, another Trump supporter who also pled guilty to his violent assault on me. All four of these individuals are self-admitted Trump supporters. All four of them committed violent assault on law enforcement. I'm just one representative of the hundreds of police officers that were assaulted that day by Donald Trump supporters, inspired by his lies. The lies that continue to this day to inspire my fellow Americans to turn against their fellow Americans, to turn against police officers.
Listen, if you've been in a car accident, don't call an attorney. Use this AI app instead. That's what I did, and that's how I...
The new warning from President Biden about Donald Trump.
What's next for America?
Is this on his official account? Wow. A unified Reich? That's Hitler's language. That's not America's. He cares about holding on to power. I care about you.
That's Biden's reaction to the social media video that Trump's account posted. Under the headline, "What's next for America?" is the statement, "The creation of a unified Reich." That video remained up for hours even after his campaign acknowledged those words were a mistake. The video, though, has been removed as of today. But has the political impact been removed? Joining me right now, CNN political commentator Bakari Sellers and Mike Dubke, former Trump White House communications director. It's good to see you guys. Mike, let me ask you, the Trump campaign's response to all of this was that it was reposted by a staffer, and the way that the campaign put it was clearly, who clearly did not see the word Reich we're talking about. What do you think about how this happened and how it was handled from your perspective? And as a political matter, would it have been malpractice for Joe Biden to not call this out?
Yeah, well, we'll start from the top. I mean, just from as a campaign matter, it was, and if I'm being charitable, it was either stupidity or laziness on behalf of the staffer, not recognizing that word. It's a word in the English language that, frankly, we shouldn't be using. As a Bills fan, I say the only time I want to hear Reich is Frank Reich leading the greatest comeback in NFL playoff history. That's when you can say Reich. So this was just a piece of a campaign staffer that failed. I thought the campaign did a really good job of cleaning it up. They were immediate. They closed the book on this. But absolutely, you're right. If I was running Joe Biden's campaign, I would have used it. I may have not taken 5 takes of that 5-second video to do it, but I would have closed the book. I would have brought it up the way that they did. That's all part of these presidential campaigns nowadays.
Bakari, the way that Biden's take was that that's not the language of any American. It's of any Americans. It's the language of Hitler's Germany. And the way that Biden has previously talked about it is like, this is not the language of American presidents, but he did expand it to like of Americans. That's how he put it to donors in Boston yesterday at a campaign reception. What do you do with this? Because so few people, actually, is what I mean to say, other than Trump's biggest supporters, see his Truth Social posts.
Y'all see what I'm talking about? And then Trump asked, he deleting shit. Yeah, we on your head. We on your head, y'all. Keep riding with me. Continue to let Chef Quan pour some tea on y'all head. And we gonna go ahead and get into the last video to end this. And we gonna end it with Grandma. Thank you guys. Please subscribe. Keep watching my videos. Share them. I appreciate all the love, alright? Continue to allow me to pour tea on y'all head. Let's watch this last video. And we out. Y'all have a good day.
Vote for Biden. Tell them to vote for Biden. They know who they gonna vote for.
They try.
Them black people better show up. I know y'all might not like Biden, but y'all better vote for him, because if you don't, Trump is gonna do you in. He gonna do y'all. Oh,
he is.
I know he gonna do you. Just like y'all got tricked to get on the ship, you gonna get on the ship again. Listening to this damn white man. How do they think a white man gonna do something for them? He ain't did nothing yet. They won't even give us our reparation.
Man.